Firstly, the bourse was up yesterday. Take us through some of the movements that's happened on the bourse today.
The bourse closed fairly positive today. The index closed at 21,542, which was fairly positive. Again, we've seen in the past few days good signs with regards the closing of the bourse. It just shows that there's some confidence coming back into the market.
Let's talk about the Naira. We know it appreciated about 10 kobo against the dollar. How has this affected the interest rates in the country?
Well, at this point, there isn't a significant effect on the interest rate. The appreciations we're seeing have only happened in the last 2 or 3 days. If you recall, some weeks before, we had a situation where there was growing demand and there were concerns with regards whether the supply, both from the regulator and the oil industry, would support this demand. Now, those concerns have been sort of settled now, and what we're seeing is the calm after the storm. We expect that with the appreciation of the currency, let me put it this way: we don't expect there will be a significant effect on the interest rates with the appreciation of the currency in the short term. What most people are looking towards is where the currency will end towards the end of the year.
Well, in July it appreciated about 20 kobo. Are you expecting it to appreciate further?
The signs look good. The signs really look good. Production is up as a country. The price is good. If we look back, we'd see that we're close to the production projections that were made for the budget. The price is definitely higher than the projections made for the budget at the beginning of the year. And we expect that in a few months we could recoup the drops in the foreign exchange reserves that occurred at the beginning of the year. My view is that it's more likely we'd see stability with a bias for an appreciation, but more likely stability.
Well, the market experienced a large outflow of funds last week, pushing the cost of the funds up. How is the market going to manage these costs?
Now, are we talking about on the money market or on the FX?
On the money market.
It wasn't such an issue. In fact, what we saw is the normal monthly occurrence where basically the money market in Nigeria has typically a 30-day cycle where we see towards the end of the month and beginning of the month, we see public sector funds flow into the system, create the liquidity, and close to the third, fourth week, we see an outflow. What we saw last week was the regular outflows we see at the end of the month, also mostly driven by public sector demand. And I guess in the next few weeks, we should start expecting, in fact, I know that for certain that some of the funds have started coming in through the monthly statutory allocations, and I expect that will, to a large extent, bring back the rates to the average levels of between 8 and 9%.
And what's the outlook for the currency going forward for this month?
For this month, I think we wouldn't see the depreciations we saw in the previous month. The previous month was rather volatile for the currency on the basis of demand exceeding the supply from central bank. We've seen a renewed confidence from central bank in terms of putting in foreign currency into the into the FX market, and we also expect that with the increased production from the oil sector, we'd see more inflow from the oil sector into the FX market as well. So, like I'd said previously, our view is that we would more likely see stability, but there's a slight chance of an appreciation this month.